Idalia is now a hurricane. It was expected. You saw a lot of lightning right around where the center of this storm is, and you're beginning to see again that what we call our central dense overcast just kind of shield itself and wall itself away from where it was having all of that wind shear coming in just yesterday. So overall, again, here's Tampa. We had a little bit of shower activity earlier, but the main rain is still well to the south of us. So whatever you've got to get done this morning or even early this afternoon, you're fine to do, okay? So just understand that. You still have plenty of time throughout the day today to get things done, you know, pick up things around the yard like I forgot to do, or, you know, like stuff like that. So let's get into it. Now, 320 miles from the tip of Pinellas County. I just chose that particular spot for no reason at all, but that's where the center is. But here's the thing. Now that we have the center of this storm on Key West radar, okay, and I know it's so fuzzy right now because it gets a great distance from the Key West radar, but over the next few hours, it'll continue to get better and better defined on the radar. We can watch it all the way up the coast, and then when it turns toward the north and the east, and once you get that center on radar, it's not going to make a move without us knowing about it. Let me show you something about wind shear. And we talked about how wind shear has been blowing everything to the eastern side of this particular storm. Watch what happens when the wind shear starts to relax. You see all this yellow up here as it starts to kind of fade away? That's wind shear. Watch as it goes away. Boom. Big thunderstorms develop. So the one thing that's been limiting this storm since yesterday morning has been that wind shear. If it hadn't happened, this might have already been a major hurricane right now. It still is forecast to become a major hurricane. Don't get me wrong. Rapid intensification is likely with this storm as it rolls through some of the warmest water we've ever seen in the eastern Gulf of Mexico. That combined with the fact that the wind shear is starting to relax, that combined with the fact that there's going to be what we call upper level outflow fanning out, and that's going to allow for this storm to breathe a little bit. You put all that together, and there's no reason why this wouldn't be a major hurricane. Listen, I hope it's wrong. I hope all the models are wrong. But the way it's setting up is this will likely be a major hurricane 100 miles off our coast. So are we concerned about major hurricane winds here? No. But we are still majorly concerned about the storm surge, and I still think that's what's going to be our biggest problem moving forward tomorrow morning will be the storm surge. By around 1 a.m. in the morning, look at the heavier rain bands, and again, this all depends on how close it comes to the coast. 30, 40 miles closer, a lot more. 30, 40 miles off, a lot less. So this is going to be more of a coastal event. Polk, Hardy, DeSoto, and Highlands. Maybe you get some tropical storm force wind gusts, and maybe you get an isolated tornado with some of these feeder bands, but that's really going to be about it for you inland folks. This is going to be a coastal event, and really a northern coastal event, so north of the Tampa Bay area. Landfall maybe early tomorrow morning. Northwest of Cedar Key, somewhere within about 30, 40 miles, I think, of Cedar Key, mainly just to the northwest of that. So 8 to 12-foot storm surge. This is going to be the biggest problem here, right in the Big Bend area, going all the way down to Chassahowitzka. So from Chassahowitzka to Crystal River, listen, those folks are telling you if you're in Zone A to get out, get out. 8 to 12 feet of storm surge is significant. As you roll down the coast, there'll be lesser amounts of storm surge, but a 4 to 7-foot storm surge in Tampa early tomorrow morning is also pretty hefty as well. And this is why we're telling you that we're worried more about the water than we are the wind at this time, because if it stays 100 miles offshore, we won't get hurricane force winds onshore. Flood watch is out as well. So we've got, again, multiple things going on. Here are the impacts that we're thinking. Okay, in Hillsborough and Pinellas, tropical storm winds Tuesday evening. Maybe a hurricane force wind gust. Unless it moves closer, that may stay offshore. 4 to 7-foot storm surge, 3 to 6 inches of rain. Let's move on. Pasco, Hernando, Citrus, heads up because you guys are probably going to have the worst of the storm. Storm surge 7 to 11 feet, actually 8 to 12 feet along the coast. Highest storm surge early Wednesday morning. Again, a lot of freshwater flooding with 5 to 10 inches of rain expected. Manatee and Sarasota, lesser amounts. Storm surge 3 to 5 feet. Maybe you get tropical storm winds, but you shouldn't see any hurricane force winds again, as long as it doesn't shift. Rainfall 3 to 6 inches. Polk, Hardy, DeSoto, and Highlands, 30 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts with 3 to 5 inches of rain.